Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gerdes, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
So I've always maintained, as a buyer and as an investor, I love the month of December to buy. I find that sellers are a little more, jovial. It's Christmas time.
Or generous.
So they're more willing to negotiate. Not as many buyers are typically in the market. And a lot of sellers are up against tax season and have to make some decisions. And so I've always found that I love the month of December to invest in just because of some of those reasons. But a new study came out and said that October is the best month to buy a house right now. Ryan, what are your first thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe it's a little bit early. I still think that there's a lot of traffic, and so thinking as far as a buyer goes, not only am I thinking about how sellers are selling, I'm thinking about my competition, because right now, if you go out and you find a good property, and I don't care what the price point is, if it's good, it's priced right, availability, showability, and all those other constants,
abilities,
controls are taken care of, then it's going to have multiple offers on it. It's gonna be a hot commodity. So this might be good on a national level, but I'm with you. I think that early October is just a little bit too early, and I think that when it comes to November, at least here in our market, that's when it gets a little bit more prime for the buying.
Well, true. It definitely, the study is on a national level, but a lot of times our market leads the way. And so what they are saying for the month of October, we are predicting and I don't know, I haven't been tracking it, so I need to, but they're predicting an increase of more active listings by about 17%.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Justin, with high interest rates, a lot of buyers who are naive, scared, listening to the wrong people, are hiding out, sitting on the fence, not willing to jump in the game. But if we see anywhere close to a 17% increase in active listings, and we don't have the competition, that's one of the reasons why they're saying October is such a great month, is there's just not a lot of competition, especially with interest rates from other buyers, which does make sellers more genuine, more nervous, more willing to wheel and deal.
In as long as I've been doing this, so almost 16 years now, we tend to see a trend of more contracts come in October, and I feel like the reasons come from we get August, you get kids going back to school, so parents are busy with that, right? And then September has always been one of my slowest months year over year.
But that's because school's ended and that summer rush is over.
School started.
School started. That's
correct.
What I meant.
And I would agree with that. Nobody wants to pick up and move while you're just getting started into school. But I mean, you're talking about, let's say, 2 months, maybe a month and a half of things slowing down. So, a lot of times people want to get back in the game and start searching for homes. So, or listing homes too, at that point. And I could see that happening. But I'd have to agree. Like, it's hard for me to believe that October is that month, but springtime is typically when you have all those buyers in the game. You don't have the competition in October, so people are decorating for Halloween and getting ready for holidays and
fall break.
Yeah, so if you are a buyer, that would be a really good time to make a purchase.
My wife has got this thing against Halloween. It's just horrible. She's just the fun killer.
And you're the minister of fun.
Yeah. She when she was in high school, she went to Calvary Chapel out in Costa Mesa, and every year they made her watch this documentary, or not a documentary, a show put on by Chuck Smith called Pagan Invasion. And so it's just the baggage that I've inherited. When we first got married, we weren't allowed to have anything that's Halloween. And then we had 2 boys, and then look out, they wanted skeletons and monsters.
She's
and,
getting
and
whatever
things
they
like
wanted.
that. So this one day, I'm out showing homes, and I had a rental car, and it was a convertible. So I had my clients in the car, and we're looking at homes, and we drive past a yard sale, and they had this plastic yard decoration of a ghost, the kind that you plug in and it lights up. Had a big old smile on its face, and I named him Boo, because that's what you would name it. And so now I'm showing homes, and I got Boo in the back seat of this convertible, because that's how I roll, right? And I brought that thing home, Ryan. It had a big smile. It's like just saying Casper's evil, and I didn't quite have the backbone in my marriage that I do now. So she made me get rid of it, and we got rid of it. One of my biggest regrets of my 23
Poor
years of
Boo.
marriage. Yeah, poor Boo.
I'm a fan of Halloween. Luckily, my wife is too. She's a fan of all holidays. If anything, I've always kind of been the Scrooge during Christmas time. Now that we
She
have
was
kids,
saying that.
I've done better. It's a conscious effort. I'm not all about the material stuff. I want people to come together, and everything was just so materialized over the years.
The best
And
present
so
your
it was
kids
like-
could give you for Christmas is get in the yard and work it.
There's a funny story. So there was it's someone on our team. They're negotiating the purchase of a property, and the sellers sent a letter to all the buyers and said, "We really want this to go to a good family." They probably broke all kinds of fair housing rules. But it wasn't on our side. It was the seller doing it. We weren't representing the seller. And they sent out a picture of them in front of their house and said, "Everybody on this block decorates for Christmas. And,
Good for them.
And we want whoever buys this place to keep up that tradition." And the picture of this house, I mean, there wasn't a square inch that didn't have a decoration on it. And I'm like, damn.
Oh my God!
That's
I would
a
love
tall
to,
order.
I would love to move into a neighborhood like that.
It
when I
takes
was
a lot of work.
When I was a kid, that we had Candy Cane Lane. It was just 3 blocks. Just everybody did that. Well, if you're understanding the words coming out of our mouths and you want to recognize and take advantage, regardless of where rates are at, take advantage of the month of October. This is a phenomenal time to buy right now. All you got to do is text the word No. Text the word Boo
I like
to
that.
623
All
AZ
right.
Recon. Again, text the word Boo to 623 AZ Recon. All right, so here's where we're going to kind of break down a little bit of the strategy, Ryan. Let's just say this study is correct, that we're in October, we're going to see a 17% increase in new listings. And we never rehearse this. So my strategy for myself, and if I'm working with one of my investors, is not to pay so much attention to the new listings. I want to focus on the listings that have been on the market for a while, because there's a little bit of desperation in there for the sellers.
Okay.
That's all I had.
All right. No, I don't hate that idea. I go in here and they're talking about, one of the big reasons is that weather. So that would make sense on a national level, but here, this is the perfect time for people to be here. So I would focus on tourism. I think we're getting ready for snowbirds to come in and make a big play. I would start reaching out to some of those markets who, maybe they're having tough winters. I know that there's been a number of tough winters, particularly in the Midwest. So I might start reaching out to a lot of those people, because we have this awesome network in all major markets in the United States, where whether it's Chicago, Dallas.
Good call.
I would be reaching out to a lot of those agents and saying, hey, what are you guys seeing, and who in your network is trying to transplant from your market over to a warmer market so that they don't have to deal with those types of winters, and start capitalizing on those folks.
So I think what we're going to see too, Justin, is if this 17% increase does come to fruition, and I know that we have seen an increase, because I go over the numbers every single week with our CFO, our COO here at West USA Realty, Todd Menard, and we were talking about we're seeing the last 2 weeks an uptick in listings. I just can't recall exactly what percentage we're at. So we're on par and on pace to have a significant increase in listings. But I still think with the interest rates and what this study is saying, why October is going to be such a great month for buyers is we are going to see, even though with an uptick, we're going to see more price reductions, especially from houses that have been on the market, and a lot more seller concessions, because an increase in listings, Justin, doesn't necessarily mean an increase in the number of buyers.
Right. Demand doesn't go
So
anywhere.
I think we do. I think this is a great time. If we see the more listings that we add to the MLS right now, that we add to the market right now, the better it is for buyers.
100%. And I think you're absolutely right. I think we will see more concessions. And obviously, people listing their house, they want to get rid of the property. So there's going to be that push for them to make a deal. And we have been seeing an extensive amount of concessions already. Maybe we can get some more price reductions in there. With the interest rates, you're limiting your buyers right now because we're seeing less first-time home buyers. We're seeing more investors. We're seeing more people with money coming to the table and better credit. So that would help out significantly, and to give products like the 2-1 buy down, the 3-2-1 buy down, people are very happy with that. I mean, we have a customer right now that we gave him the 3-2-1 buy down, static about it, and he got a ton of concessions, 6%.
Yeah, and I think that there's also a big play on creative financing. I think that if sellers start feeling the pinch, they're going to be a little bit more open to doing some creative financing, seller carrybacks, etc. And also, it's just there's more education out there. There's more noise about creative financing than there's ever been. So I think that people are getting more warmed up to it because they're carrying that 3% note right now, and to go find a buyer that's going to be locking in at 7.25% if they're not doing a 3-2-1 buy down. I think that there's just going to be a lot more of that happening as we see inventory increase.
All right. As we started off, I think October, this month, we got a half a month left. I think this is going to be an incredible opportunity to buy real estate here in Arizona. You just have to overcome the mental and emotional challenge and barrier of interest rates. As we always say on this podcast, the interest rate is only one of the numbers. There's so many ways that you make money in real estate, but we would love to have that conversation with you, explore the strategies that we have in place to help you get into something or get at least under contract in the month of October. All you got to do is text the word BOO to 623-AZ-RECON. That's BOO to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.